continue our talk about demons, understanding demons, questions we often get about demons and their answers. So let's start off today with the idea that thoughts are things. Thoughts are things, but if you choose not to believe in these thoughts, if you choose not to believe in these things, or you choose not to feed them with the energy of your own focus, not to make them the object of your attention, if you choose instead to live your life in agreement with God, the source of light, the source of objective good, you will be working your way into a state that exists far beyond and far above the state or the plane or the vibration of thoughts, thought flags, dark thought flags, demons, and etc. These things will have no power over you in your reality, and in many cases, you will be existing at a state so high above them, you won't even notice them. Not always, but often you won't even notice them. Think of Peter, who's walking on the water, focused on Jesus, walking on the water. Think of the three men in the fire, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, walking in the fire with the Son of God. That's what happens when you focus instead on Jesus and not on these dark flags, not on these demonic thoughts. When you exist at a state so much higher that you can walk towards Jesus and only with Jesus, these things cannot be part of your reality. These things are no thing. They're nothing. When a man, for example, is walking with his true love, let's say he's walking with his true love down the street, he doesn't have to tell himself not to stare at the attractive woman or the beautiful women who are walking by him or next to him or across the street from him. Why? Because he is so focused on his true love. He's so focused on his wife, on his spouse, on his girlfriend. He is in such agreement with her that he is not tempted or nearly tempted by them. So it is with Jesus. So it is with Jesus. It's the same. When we walk with Jesus in utter agreement with him, we often don't see the dark flags or the demonic or the dark thoughts or any of those things of this world. We walk right past them. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, that we will never notice them or we will never look or we will never be tempted. It's the same situation that the man who's walking with his beautiful wife who he loves and adores is never tempted or never looks. But I am saying that we will easily avoid them, and very, very often we will not even notice them. However, we will, of course, fall. We never arrive, right? We are fallen. We are in a fallen world. That's what this is all about. That's what this walk is all about. That's what this is all about. Us growing and learning here on earth before we go to heaven. So I'm not saying we arrive and we're never tempted. However, I am saying that we have the free agency to choose, and the more we focus on Jesus, the easier that choice is, and to the point where sometimes we don't even have to choose because we don't even notice these things anymore. So we have the free agency to choose. We can choose not to partner with these demonic things. We can choose not to partner with dark thought flags. We can choose instead to stay focused on Jesus and walk on the water, walk on the waves, as scary as they may be, like Peter did. And the more we choose, the less we will notice the bad, the less tempting the bad will be, and the more we will fall in love with the good, the more we will fall in love with God. But we will have the free agency, we will have the choice, always. That's what this is all about as well, being tempted and having the choice to choose the wrong thing. God, at the end of the day, however, is the source of objective truth and complete reality. Dark thought flags, in contrast, do not come about from objective truth and do not come about from complete reality. Now, dark thought flags are also not demons. They spring from our subjective reality. They come from our subjective reality, our perceptions on life, for example, our perceptions on God, our perceptions on things going around in the world around us, current events. Dark flags come from misconceptions and even demonic deceptions that we all have about events, people, and even God. But they come from us. They come from our subjective reality. Now, demonic deceptions can help us create those misconceptions or delusions, but they do not come from demonic. they come from us. They are creations. They are creations of negative thoughts and negative states of our own minds. So dark thought flags are the spiritual symbols of the thoughts that our minds create and feed by our thoughts, cultures, religions, and more. Our statements, our spoken words. These dark flags draw in the demonic. They open a door, so to speak, in our personal metron, our spiritual authority, and they invite the demonic into our reality. That's the big deal with dark thought flags. So when the demonic first comes, they tend to approach a dark thought flag like a small campfire that they're trying to kind of grow, kind of feed, and they might first project or provide certain ideas, certain doubts, or even twist the perception of someone ever so slightly, so that this person, they see things and hear things that are incorrect. They hear and see things that are more negative than the reality. And this, when the demonic does this to a person, it's like they're putting kindling on that small fire they were drawn to. When the demonic does this, they're trying to grow and strengthen these dark thought flags. Demons have no actual ability to assert themselves into our reality. They have no way to get into our life unless they are given access, unless that door into our personal metron is provided. And this dark thought flag method that I've just described is perhaps the most common way that this happens, that this door appears. The demonic is invited into our lives when we offer a train of thought similar to the demonic train of thought. When we offer a train of thought that matches a dark thought flag that they are feeding, when we provide a similar resistance to God or to goodness, a similar state of living and existing to the demonic way of living and existing, this is what invites the demonic into our lives. So what about spiritual warfare then? How does this come all into play with the idea of dark thought flags and the metron and all of that? Well, spiritual warfare is necessary. But if you are resisting evil and the demonic only, if you are too far into spiritual warfare and you're just consumed with resisting evil and resisting the demonic, then what often happens is that you are holding the demonic, you are holding evil as your main focus. You must do so when you fight the demonic. You must focus on what you're killing. You must aim and focus on what you're shooting, right? So it's okay when you're doing spiritual warfare to focus on the demonic, but if the spiritual warfare aspect of your spiritual life takes over, then all you're doing is aiming at what you're trying to shoot at. All you're doing is focusing on the demonic, even if the demonic isn't there anymore because you already shot it. And to be sure, there is a time and a place to focus on the demonic so you can shoot it, so you can aim, so you can shoot. Bringing spiritual healing, deliverance, and all of that requires a focus on the demonic. Or what if we get so lost in deep study of the demonic text or rituals, so that we can be ready for the next battle or the next encounter of evil? We think we're preparing. When we take it too far, we become too focused on the demonic. We become too focused on darkness. And when that happens, these things must become part of our reality. Dark flags must begin to form in our metron. So darkness and evil, we are focusing on it, so it must begin to manifest. It must show up in our experience. It has access once again to our metron. We, made in the image of God, begin to make dark thought flags simply because we cannot meditate on anything else but evil, or we spend almost all our time meditating on darkness. This is why demons often appear so easily and so often in the lives of those who believe they must study the demonic deeply, who are constantly looking for the next battle. And when the demons show up, it just proves their paranoid fears or their insecurities correct, and the loop continues. They must fight the demonic always. They must constantly be on the lookout for them. And then surprise, there they are. So it just continues to loop. When a seer who looks into the spirit and who sees into the spirit realm always looks for the demonic, he tends to draw them in. He tends to see more of the demonic. When someone is focusing on a demon, even for a short time, there is a very real danger that they will begin to match the spiritual state of that demon, the vibrational state of that demon giving that entity a way to enter their metron and affect their atmosphere. The door is open, so to speak. When the door is open, the demonic enters our metron, enters our spiritual atmosphere, and they can feed off of our spiritual energy and grow stronger. They can find nourishment there. This is something the demonic is thrilled to do. This is one of their main goals. It's the reason that the Bible states that the demonic is so comfortable being in our souls, being with us, and they want to stay. They don't want to leave. They are connected to our aura, so to speak. They're connected to our spiritual force, our spiritual energy, our spiritual atmosphere, and they are able to feed off of our spiritual energy instead of wandering around in the second heaven or the first heaven without an energy source at all. Think of a tick. It sits in the grass without blood or a body or body heat to nourish it and keep it warm. It doesn't like it there. It's not thrilled to be there, and it will die if left there. So when you walk by or when your dog walks by, it jumps on and bores into your skin. And once that tick is on you, once that tick is on your body, it gets blood, it gets heat, and it grows quickly. It gets nourishment. The only way you can then get rid of this tick is to tear it off or to use fire. And this is honestly not much different for the demonic. It's actually a perfect illustration for the demonic, because when the demonic infiltrates your metron and it attaches itself to your soul, it begins feeding off your energy. You are not only then sharing the original thought patterns with this demon that allowed it to come into your metron, but you begin to receive other thought patterns as well. You begin to partner with other lies as well that the demon passes on to you and that are harder to resist. Rest assured that all the demon's thought patterns it's sharing with you, all those fiery arrows, are definitely designed to isolate you and to ruin your relationship so as to weaken you. It's kind of like weakening the immune system, drawing down your defenses, sapping your strength, and in time, new dark flags pop up as a result. And more demons are able to spot you and come into your metron, penetrate your metron, and reach into your soul, sapping out your energy. This is demonization. This is demonization, easily. And if this goes on long enough, a person might begin to hear voices, or they might begin to think they're crazy because all the crazy thoughts they're getting. And because they then start thinking they're crazy, they are a match for even more and even stronger demons that then pour into their metron, and it just builds and builds like an avalanche, and on it goes until some of the darkest demons begin to take over. If it goes on long enough, you do have possession. If this goes on long enough, you have possession, and the best way to kick out demons and to stop this chain from going on and on to possession, at the end of the day, is to simply displace them with heaven. Yes, there's a time to aim and to shoot and to pray and to kill demons, but at the end of the day, the best way is to simply displace them with heaven, with worship and prayer and inviting God into your life. And the light of heaven, the light of God, chases away the dark every time. So simply invite the light, the God of heaven into your life, always with prayer, with gratitude, and by pursuing an actual relationship with God, by soaking with God. The more you are with God, the more your state of being will change to be more like the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. Your mind will change, your thoughts will change, you will change. Demons are real, but they don't need to be part of your life. That's all for today. Thanks for joining, and I'll talk to you later.